Hey everybody, it's Michael here. I'm going to do a video right now on our next video in the Facebook Basics of Facebook Advertising series. We're going to do a Facebook post on a page. We're going to try to gauge some interest on a design. And we're also going to try to ask, and we're going to also ask people to comment. And the reason why you do this is if you want to see if a design that you have in your store, or that you maybe a new design that you're thinking of promoting, is responsive to the certain demographic that you're targeting. So there's a couple ways you can go about this, and I'll show you one of the ways now, and kind of go over the other way as we're going along. But again, this is going to be a page post engagement, and we're going to try to reach people in a certain demographic through targeting, and just ask them if they like the design. And then on this particular design is a personalized design, and just ask them about what type of personalization they would use. So let's get started with what we have to show for you here today. So I'm going to use this design that's in the mega store, I believe. It's let's see, I can show you over here. So it's this particular design anchored in Jesus, and I know we put this on some Bible covers. We also put it on some T-shirts here too, and it's a really cool design, and it's really geared towards. We have it as Nana here, so you could actually gear it towards really any demographic: grandmothers, moms, aunts, whatever you wanted to do with that or name. But this particular design we used just grandmas to market to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my page here. So we'll go over to the page, and we're just going to upload a photo. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to post two different posts, one with different color shirts, and I'll explain why in a second. So when you're doing these types of posts, I like to try to keep the designs on mock-ups. And the reason why is you're less likely to get any sort of too much text rule if it's on a mock-up on a shirt like this. So I'm going to post a black shirt and a white shirt. So I am going to target the grandma demographic on this. And so what I want to do is just talk about real basic sayings in your post. Do you like this T-shirt design? Which comment below. Always tell them to comment with your grandma nickname. So we're not going to be trying to sell a shirt right now. We're not going to put a link in there yet. We're just going to try to gauge some overall interest in the shirt and see what people say about it, and also try to get some comments to see if we can eventually reply back to them with a link, maybe already with their nickname on the shirt. But we'll be showing you a basic engagement post. So we'll go ahead and publish that to our page. Okay. And come down here, take a look at it, make sure it all looks good. No typos. So it looks good. It's on the mock-up here. And so now I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that same exact text, and I'm going to upload a different color shirt. And we'll do the white one. And the reason why you want to do this is just to try to, you can even do ones with hoodies, you can do ones with the Bible covers, you can try all kinds of things. And you just want to get as much out there so you can see which is working. One ad might be performing really well compared to another, so you want to try to test this. Put a period in there, and we'll go ahead and publish that to our page. And remember, we're just publishing this on the page. It's just a regular page post, and we haven't started any ads with it, so we're just going to get it on the page first. Okay. So let's go through. So okay, it looks good. Okay, and looks good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to our ads manager. Okay, we're going to create a new campaign. We're going to create an ad. Let's start over. This was from an earlier tutorial. Okay, now what I talked about in the last video is a lot of the times when you're doing these types of ads or you're doing page likes, you can do an engagement ad. Okay, and you can actually do a page like ad with those posts, and you can get people to like your page right from there, or else you can just do just a regular page engagement, and you'll still get page likes off of that post too. But you can do either objective here, but we'll just stick with post engagement for now, and we'll call this anchored in Jesus. So this is going to be obviously geared towards grandmas, Christians, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and this is the campaign name. And so we're going to just name the main campaign under this. And after that, we'll start doing some ad sets, and then we'll continue with our ads, with our actual ads, which means your creative, your graphics. So let's go ahead and just let's do a couple of ad sets here. So we're going to probably be using. So obviously we're going to be focusing on grandmas, right? And so, you know, I like to start when I'm doing sort of like a grandma niche. There is some young grandmas out there, so I will always start at like 45, even though it seems kind of young. I'll go 45 and up. Okay, and obviously we want to be targeting women. We'll stick in the United States here. So here's some cool things that just you might want to figure out. So right now we have grandmothers that we want to target. So we can do that with just the age group, but you don't know if they're grandmas or what's going on just because of the age group and the gender. So I like to do is if we have this type of targeting, you can try different things, but I like to find out if there's people that are more apt in that age group to be interested in things that have to do with being grandma. So sometimes I just type in stuff like this to see. Oops. And let's see what comes up. So I love being a grandma. It's an interest. So sometimes I'll just type in, I'll just pick one, and then I like to go over to my suggestions to see what else I have. Okay. So I love being a grandma. That's 182,000 person interest. And you can see just having this demographic and just this in here right here has already put my potential reach down to 120,000 people. So that's fine. I want to get some Christian because you obviously want to be targeting Christian people. So you got to always look at your design and make sure that whatever your design entails, that you want to also, if it's 2 layers of designs, you want to make sure you get both of those in there. So if I was just to be targeting grandmas who, these women this age are more likely going to, be interested in this. I love being a grandma, but they may not be Christian. They could be any other religion or not have any religion at all. So what I like to do is narrow the audience. And what I do with that is I'm going to start typing in other interest in here to make sure that they like this, and they must also match one of these. So let's go in here and let's just start typing in some Christian interest. I know one is I like to target famous Christian authors or speakers. I know one is Joyce Meyer. This is a little bit of research you'll have to do before. You can see that they're pretty big. They're pretty big interest. So let's just see. Let's pick one, Joyce Meyer Ministries, or let's pick Joyce Meyer. And you can see with this being such a low kind of interest, I might want to put like a bigger grandma interest in there. So I love my grandkids, grandparents, my children and grandchildren. So you can see I'm looking for kind of this one called grandparent is 101 million. So let's go through and add a couple in there, see if we can bring up that interest, because right now it's at 22,000. That brought it up a little bit. You can test these kind of. This is 84,000. Let's bring it up a little bit more. It's 100,000. So you can play around with these interests. You can take some out. You can try different, like the ad sets. It's really unlimited. So what I like to do is that if I was going to start with this 100,000 person, and remember, we're just doing an engagement ad, so that should be good. If I'm going to do another ad set, I want to make sure I'm not using these again. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up in the ad set name. And I'll just paste, I'll copy and just paste those right in there. Separate them with a comma. And then also this one, Joyce Meyer. So that way if we want to try different targeting on another ad set, we can do that. Okay. So let's just start with that. It's 100,000 people. It's pretty good. I'm going to definitely edit my placements. I'm just going to want this to go, since this is more of a grandma type shirt, I'm not going to use anything but the Facebook feed. So I'm going to take off all of the Instagram stuff, the videos, the in-stream videos, instant articles, and just leave it in the feeds. Okay. And you can start with whatever you want. Let's start with just $10 a day and see if we can get some traction on it. I leave all this kind of pretty much standard. I don't really mess with this stuff too much when I'm just doing engagement ads. And let's go ahead and continue. So now we have our audience, our placements, and we set our budget. Now we have to pick our post. So we're going to use an existing post, pick our page. Remember, we have 2 posts that we're going to be using eventually. So I'm going to want to name this particular one so I know exactly which post it is. So when we start getting data back, we can see which one it is. So this one, I'll just probably do the black t-shirt first. So this is my ad. So this is my creative. And now I'm going to be using 2 posts. So 2 separate, and it's a little confusing just the way they word it, but this, when they say ad, this means what type of ad. So we're going to be using a page post. Okay, so why is that happening? Let's just try this all over again. So let's use Planet Me Tea. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Usually the posts come up, but a way that you can get your actual posts is a post ID. So what you do, we're going to use the black one. If you have this problem, you can come over here and go to the time or date and just click on it. And it's right before the last, this post ID is this last number here before your last slash in the URL. That's your post ID. Let's see if this works. If you come in here and hit submit. Why is this not letting me use the Planet Me Tea stuff? Let's see. You always run into something, just like I am running into something now. And I'm not sure why it's not letting me pick my post. So let's try this. We'll try doing make sure that this is all saved. Let's refresh this page. Maybe that will have something to do with it. See if those posts stayed. Yeah, I see them in there. Okay, let's take this out and see if we can go back to Planet Me Tea. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to come back and see if I can figure it out, and then I will restart when I figure this out. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so it looks like I just had to refresh for some reason, which lost everything. So I just went back through and typed in everything we had. And I'm going to go back in, and I forgot to do placements. So I'm going to go ahead and redo the placements again. And it's just weird stuff like that happens all the time, especially with Facebook. So sometimes you have to start over. Okay, we'll just go back through and just do the feeds. Okay, continue. So this one we're gonna name. We'll name this one. I guess we'll just start with this one since it's up. White shirt. You can see that I selected the page and I picked my post. You can kind of see what it looks like on the feature phone, the desktop, and the mobile version. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to confirm this. Okay, so we have our first complete ad set. Okay, our ads done. I want to show you what I'm going to do now. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue. Or actually, since we have two posts, what I want to do is duplicate the ad, the creative, and just change the post. So I'm going to do this now. So it's gonna be using the same exact ad set. So I'm going to continue. Now I'm going to name this black t-shirt. Okay, stop. And just simply change the post now. So you'll come in here and select the black one. And it's still going to use all of your existing ad set data. So your budget and everything, and you're going to confirm. Now you're going to continue. So if you come over here to your campaigns, you'll see that we're anchored in Jesus. Here's our first ad set. And it didn't take that, so I'll make sure I come in here and change the ad name to black shirt. So you can see a couple of the shortcuts here on this video and all that kind of stuff. So these two ads are going to be targeting the same targeting that we have for our first ad set, which is I love being a grandma, I love my grandchildren, and all that kind of stuff. Those three with the narrowing the audience of Joyce Meyer. Okay, but there's, like I said, there's a lot more demographics and interests we can try to see. So let's just do one more ad set. And you can continue to repeat this process until you're comfortable with whatever budget you're running. So a way to do that is you can just go ahead and click this, and you're going to say duplicate ad set. What that's going to do is it's going to bring up basically the whole campaign. And you'll see here, this is the existing campaign, the new ad set, and then you have your two separate ad creatives in here, the white shirt and the black shirt. We're going to still keep that white shirt and the black shirt because we don't need to change any of that, but we are going to edit some of these. We're going to edit with some new targeting. Okay, we don't want to use the same one, so we want to edit some new targeting. The good thing I like about that is when you duplicate, you can, before you change this, you can see which interest you've already used. So I love being a grandma, I love my grandchildren, I love being a grandma. You know, they're kind of similar, or Joyce Meyer, or you can use Joyce Meyer again, but I also want to show you that in here, you also have demographics. So even if you just hit browse, even if you go into a demographic and you can try to find where this would be under in demographics. So if you go to, let's see, it's not under moms. You can probably do parents with adult children, hoping that they might be possibly grandparents, but I know that there's an actual grandparent demographic in here. So let's keep looking around these demographics. Let's see, let's go into, it's not under parents. Home, nope. Life events, nope. But you can see as we're going through there, you can get an idea of all the kind of stuff that they have in here. I know there's a grandparents demographic. So if you have a hard time looking for something, sometimes if you just come back out, and if you come in here, under the suggestions, you can see that grandparents is a demographic. Okay, it's not an interest. It's one of these demographics where I just couldn't find it under here. It should be under here in a demographic. I just haven't been able to find it. I don't think it would be under educational. Oh, that makes me mad why I can't find it. But anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to grandparents because it's 40 million, but that's a demographic of you know that these are going to be grandparents, okay? So that's 40 million. So I'm going to just go ahead and just take all the rest of these out and just have the demographic of grandparents in here, which gives me this 470,000. And that's quite a bit bigger than our original one, which was 100,000. But again, let's try to get some. Maybe we can even change up Joyce Meyer. So even if you come in here, you can see that there's going to be other Christian things in here. Let's try focus on the family. These are good exercises, even when you start doing conversion ads. So it's just a different, and you can come back and use grandparents with just Joyce Meyer. You can keep creating ad sets all day long if you want to, but I wanted to show you where you can find some of these targeting things in here. So I'm just going to use the grandparents demo and the focus on the family, which I'll come back up here, rename my ad set. Okay. Everything else is the same. All we're changing is our targeting. We're still using the same budgeting, the same placements. And if you want, sometimes it's good to put the size of the audience in there so you have a good idea. I didn't know I didn't do that on the first one, but you can go back and do that. 130,000, so I know that that's kind of the audience. And it just helps me when I come back later. I'm able to kind of keep track in my head of exactly what I use as ad sets. So I'm going to go ahead and place that order, okay? So now what we have is, once that goes through, is we have two ad sets now. They'll both get spread out among these two ads that we've chosen, the black shirt and the white shirt. If you wanted to try another ad set, you can do that. If you wanted to try a Bible cover, if you wanted to try even a different type of ad, maybe not a page post ad, if you wanted to do a carousel ad, we'll get into that in later videos. But this is what I would start with. Remember, you're just trying to get a snapshot and just trying to get as many comments really and hopefully that you can, and see if people even like the shirt. And so this is a good way to go about it. You have your campaign, you got your two ad sets, you got $10 a day, so you can let it go a day. If you're going to spend $20, I think that's a good amount to spend to see if someone's interested in something and see what's out there. So again, hope that helps. That's it for this video, and I'll see you on the next one. And hopefully this does well, and while these ads start running, and we'll see what we come up with. All right, guys, talk to you next time.